to okay. Okay, all right. My name is Abayomi Abiodun. I'm also a Microsoft Learn student ambassador. Just like Bumi, we are both OAU students. So I think we should try to wait for others to join. Or before then, can you just tell me like more about you?
You are asking me about me?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Um, hey everyone, I'm John, and I am a Gold Microsoft Student Ambassador from Egypt. And I am working as a session lead at Udacity, and I graduated last or this month from computer engineering college. I was studying at Modern Academy for Engineering and Technology, and I have extensive experience blogging about machine learning and AI and sharing sessions. But most of the live sessions were in Arabic. This is I think the first English session in a foreign country, I think. So I'm really excited to be with you today.
So we are excited to have you too. It's nice having you here.
Thanks.
And it's nice honoring our call to be on this call.
The honor is
So
all
so
mine.
okay. So so in this I just want to introduce you to the because this is a live section and so many people are watching us from different part of Nigeria and even from our campus, which is Obafemi Awolowo University, for Microsoft Student Learn Ambassador, and also from other communities on OAU. So I just quickly want to introduce the section to them, and this section is all about Azure, like how you can build how they can build machine learning model using Azure, right? So and everybody, even if they are not expert in it, I believe this section is beginner friendly, that is going to carry everybody along. So and John is an expert in this field. So everybody, you can if you have your Azure credits ready, you can practice along as John is taking us through this section. And if not, you can just keep writing and keep watching what he will be doing. The magic you want to show us tonight. So John, you are welcome. You can go ahead by giving us what you prepared for the community.
Thank you so much, Bayomi. I hope I'm saying your name correct 'cause each time I have the
Yeah,
doubts.
sure, sure.
Is, is it a Bayomi?
Yeah, it's Abayomi. Yeah. You really tried.
Great.
You really tried. Yeah.
I had I don't know if you have heard of it before or not, but for those of you who participated in the ALX, I was a session lead there. Have you heard about the ALX scholarship, the African leading
Yes,
group?
yes. Yes, yes,
I was
yes.
teaching
I've heard
people.
about it
Uh,
before.
yeah, I was teaching people from all over Africa about the full stack development field. So I have had the opportunity to
Wow.
meet people with very hard names like yours from Nigeria, from Kenya, from
I
everywhere.
guess that's why you can pronounce my name very well.
Yeah, I like it was a
Mm.
challenge for me to practice this each session. I go and try to like say the names multiple times before the session because it was it's like it's not easy to flow from my mouth. I don't know how to say it. Like it's new for me to pronounce some of these names.
Yeah,
So
just because it's not, it's just like how it's difficult for us to pronounce your name from your side. So it's, I guess it's a normal thing. So
yeah,
we
but
say
I
some.
don't think that my name is. Uh, yeah, you say what?
No, your name is like our name too. John is
Yeah,
like a general name that anybody can pronounce.
yeah, I know. Even in Arabic, it's 3 letters. Okay,
Yes,
so
yes, and it's very short
yeah,
and easy to pronounce.
mm. Give me 1 second to share my screen and get a cup of water to get us started. So let's share this screen. Um, let's do this better because we are going to do some live demo. So I think it would be better if I share my entire screen. Hello, Eniola,
So
and I can't pronounce the name of the first person in the chat. Is it Madupushi? I don't know. I don't think it's correct.
maybe I will be happy you to pronounce your name if you can't find it easy to pronounce.
Can you pronounce the name of the first person in the chat? It's in the YouTube messages.
Okay, okay, I will check now because I'm not on YouTube Live. I joined through another app, but I'm going to check now and tell you the name.
Oh, I think you can start adding my screen now so people can see it. And let me start presenting. I think you will be moderating the session with me today. So whenever there is a question, feel
Yes.
free to stop me because I won't be able to see the chat during the presentation. Okay, can you add it now?
Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay. Are you permitted to share your screen?
I have already shared my screen. It's down there.
Okay.
If you are not an admin of this account, then I think Punmi has to add it herself.
Okay. 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 Have you tried sharing your screen now?
I am sharing my screen. Okay. I, I'm gonna share it again.
Okay. Okay. But it's not yet appears on the screen. So,
Okay. Now can you see it? It's down there.
yeah.
You need to scroll down. Can you see it? It's down there. Yeah.
Okay.
You need to scroll down.
Okay. 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 Mm,
It's my name. Beside my name, there is another screen, and it has my name
okay.
also.
Okay. Um, okay. This my screen. I'm coming. I've not yet seen this. Okay.
If you can see it, Abayomi,
Oh.
then I think you are not an admin inside this account. We need
Okay. I think that's the reason why.
Yeah,
let me just quickly message you so that you can
yeah.
activate
Go
it.
ahead. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Sorry for the delay, guys. I know my share screen is not up. Sahid, give us 2 more minutes and we will get it to work for you to be able to see our screen and see what we are gonna do today. Stay tuned. As Abayemi mentioned, we are gonna go through like a workshop today, and we are going to learn together how to deploy a machine learning model from scratch. We are going to build our own machine learning model. It's going to be a practical demo. And this simple machine learning model is like a blueprint. You can take it out. It's like some Lego pieces that you need to stitch together in order to build and deploy a machine learning model. So what we are going to do today is that we are going to give you some insight on how you can set up everything around your machine learning model. So the only thing is left for you is to do what? Is to take this machine learning model and remove it and put your own machine learning model, apply the same things that we are going to go through together today, and then you have a deployed machine learning model that you can use in your website, you can use in your application, whether it's a desktop application or any type of application. Now I think everyone can see my screen, and give me 1 more minute
Yes,
and I will be with you.
yes.
Thank you, Abayemi.
Yeah, you're welcome, John. John, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here with you. Now let's get started.
Oh,
I got some water and we can start. Again, to get you started, today we are going to learn about how to package and deploy a machine learning model to production using Azure. Packaging a machine learning model means to transform it into a deployable version of the model. You can't deploy anything to the internet. يعني why we can do that? There are some supported libraries and some supported versions. It's not like I built a model, I can deploy it. It doesn't work like that. Again, who am I? I'm John Aziz, and this is my handle on social media. You can reach me out at John Zero Isaac, and I'm a Gold Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. To follow along with me, there is a step-by-step guide in this link. If you open this link in your browser, you will find all the steps that we will be doing together today in written down with screenshots to help you follow along. So what is the link? It's bit.ly / build deploy use ml models. So what is the problem? Why do we need this? Why do you need to hear about building and deploying machine learning models? I have already mentioned something before. It's the packaging thing. Why is this important? As I have told you, not all types of machine learning models are supported for deployment. Why is that? Each platform has its own installed libraries, its own versions, its own يعني, specific things that needs to be met in order to deploy your machine learning model. So how are we going to help you today? Or how are we going to overcome this? We are going to use a unified packaging library. It's ONNX. And ONNX is something that Microsoft came up with. It's an open source project that Microsoft sponsors in order to make it the unified packaging format. So anyone can build a machine learning model using PyTorch, using TensorFlow, which are really popular machine learning model frameworks that are written in Python. So you have written some code in Python using any library you want. And at the end, what can you do? You can use the ONNX library to transform it into a deployable version of your model. So now I don't have to worry about is my TensorFlow version supported or not? Am I using the latest version or am I not? What am I doing? You don't worry, or you don't need to worry about all of this. And it separates your input and the output layer. So you can control or you can do whatever you want with the input and the output. And why am I telling you this? Because the input to the model is a really important thing. In order to communicate with the model, I can't send it any gibberish and it's gonna give me an output. It's not gonna work. So in order to communicate, or in machine learning models, everything is defined. We are dealing with computers here. So the dimensions, the size, the length, the height, everything, and the width, everything is defined. It's like the length of the input has to be, let's say, 4 digits, 4 units, any type of units, but only 4 units. If it's less than that, what will I do? If it's more than that, again, what will I do? It has you have to define it. You have to solve this. And at the same time, the output of the model depends on what you do inside your machine learning model. So if I'm dealing with images and I have converted inside my model, I have changed the dimensions of the image. At the end of the day, what am I getting from this model? I need to define my output. Maybe I want an image at the output. Will the image that I have changed its dimension work? Maybe. What if it doesn't work? Then I need to overcome this also at the end of the model. And this is what we are going to see together in a simple numeric machine learning models that deals with numbers. And as my colleague have mentioned before, the prerequisites for today's session is 3 things, not just one thing. You have to have your Azure subscription. Okay, let me tell you something else here. The building the model and deploying it is one part, and this part, for the building and the deploying, we will only need the Azure subscription and the code and solution from GitHub. Okay, but for the other part, which is using the machine learning model, we are going to use a Power App. So you need to have this Power App with you. So where are you going to get it from? Again, from this GitHub. Let me send you this link in the chat. But before we do that, before we get to that, the only thing that you need to do right now is to activate your Azure for Students offer, which is $100 credits for free for anyone who has a student email and signs up. You will receive this offer from Azure. The only thing you need is your school email, no credit card. So what are the steps? The steps are a lot. Yeah, you can see it, and I can do too. So to simplify this, the only important steps, as I told you, there are 2 parts to this demo. From step 1 to step 7, we are dealing with Azure. Step 8, 9, and 10, we are using the machine learning model. So again, step 1 to 7, we are building a machine learning model on Azure. We are deploying it. We are using the library that I told you about, which is ONNX. And at the end, we are going to use this model in Power Apps and Power Automate. And this is the last part. I know that step 10 is repeated and I'm going to fix it later. But for now, let's just stick to something or one thing, which is that it's only 7 steps. And these steps are really detailed steps. So it's not going to take much time from us to do. And let me show you this right now in this demo. Uh, let's do it together. So you can see how easy it is to build and deploy a machine learning model in Azure. To get you started, I told you that I'm going to send you the link of the GitHub. But most importantly, I want to send you the step-by-step guide, which is found here. This is the full application we are going to build together today. We are going to go to Azure. We are going to make an Azure machine learning workspaces, and we are going to create a compute on it. And this compute is going to help us run some code. And using this compute and this code, we are going to deploy the machine learning model to this Azure machine learning workspace in a real-time endpoint that we can send requests to from Power Automate, and a user can enter or open the Power application and initiate this request with the needed attributes to perform the prediction. Let's do this together. So this is the link. Let me share it with you in the chat. And okay, I think if you can enlarge my screen and remove me, that would be great. So this is the link for a step-by-step guide. And I'm just gonna close my camera for the screen to be more smooth for you to see what I'm doing. If someone can make the screen bigger, that would be great. Punmi or Apayu. Oh my God, I forgot your name again. Okay, let's move on. So this is the step-by-step guide, which you can see, you can follow, and you can find here. If I'm talking too fast, please stop me. Feel free to do that. And if you have any question
No,
at any
John, you
point,
are not talking too
what?
fast. To me, you are not talking too fast.
Okay, great. And if you have any questions,
But if
please.
he's actually talking too fast, for people,
What?
okay, I just want to say that people watching live, that if you're talking too live, if you are talking too fast, that they should signify in the comment section so that we can so that to me you are not talking too fast, but for people watching us, if you are talking too fast, they should signify in the comment section so that we can
Yeah.
or probably if they ask any question that they want to ask as you were teaching those, so they can just drop it so that we can talks about you can talk about it.
Yeah. Thank you. And I was just asking you to make the screen bigger and remove me from the view because we need people to see what I'm going to be doing. If you
Okay,
can, if you can't, it's okay. Let's
okay,
move
okay. But
on.
you can continue. I'm going to message
What?
the admin so that you can make it bigger. I said I'm going to message the admin. I'm not yet the admin, so I will
Okay.
message. Just continue with this, then the
Yeah,
person
yeah,
can
yeah,
make
yeah.
it bigger.
We're gonna continue and see.
Okay.
Jumke, Jumuke, Jumuke. Thank you, thank you for responding.
Jumoke. We call it
Jumo,
Jumoke.
Jumuke.
Jumoke.
Sorry for that. Okay, so let's move on. What is the first step? As I told you before, you need to sign into your Azure account. So we are just gonna go to portal.azure.com and sign into our account. After you sign in, we are going to create a new resource. If you remember, I told you that we are going to do everything inside our Azure Machine Learning workspace. So what do I need to do? I need to create an Azure Machine Learning workspace. That's it. So let's choose the Azure Machine Learning, click on create and choose new workspace. Okay, so go to or search for Azure Machine Learning, click on create and choose new workspace. You can follow along with me. All these options, we don't need to care about them. Only two things we need to specify here: the resource group and the name. That's it. So for the resource group, I'm going to create a new resource group, and let's say it's a Nigeria, okay? Nigeria live session and demo, okay? Let's name it this name. Yani anything will work for you. And for the name here of the workspace, I'm just going to name it ML workspace session demo. Let's name it like that. And what else I need to do? Nothing. Just click on review and create, and click on create. That's it. It's that easy to create an Azure Machine Learning workspace. Inside this workspace, we are gonna be able to deploy the model. We are gonna be able to run the code inside a notebook, and we are going to be able to create a compute, which is the hardware that is going to run our code. I hope I'm making myself clear for you and everything, and there is no doubts so far, and you don't have any questions. That's what I hope. I don't know if this is the case, but that's what I hope. Okay, so while the machine learning workspace is being created, what are these things? If you see with me, there is a storage account. I told you that there is something called the compute, and this is what is going to run our code. This is our hardware. But where is our code stored? It's going to be stored inside this storage account. So the storage account is being created to act as our storage location, where we are going to upload the things, we're going to save files, and so on and so forth. The key vault is for credentials. So passwords, sign-ins, anything related to authentication, authorization is going to be stored inside our key vault. After the Azure Machine Learning workspaces has been created, we can click on Go to Resource, and from there, you can click on Launch Studio or open the Studio Web URL. So either click on the Studio Web URL or click on Launch Studio. This will work and that will work. After that, now we are inside the Azure AI Machine Learning Studio, where you can do everything with machine learning. There are some new stuff here, like playing with OpenAI things, bringing your own data, asking Wikipedia, chatting with Wikipedia. All these are demos that you can try with a click of a button. So I can just click on start and it's gonna work. Other notebook samples, these are samples for you to try and work with. But for us, as I told you, now we have the place we are gonna work. We need the engine that is gonna run it. So we are gonna go to manage and choose compute and create a new compute. And for us, the least, or how can I say, the smallest compute is gonna be enough. But we are just gonna settle for the default one. So we don't need GPU. We are not gonna be dealing with images. So CPU is gonna be enough. And for the options, we just have to choose this one. For example, this is the one that has been chosen for us, and we can go with it. It's okay. It's the default one. just enter a name for the compute. Let's name it John compute demo. That's it. Okay. Now I can click on create and wait for my compute to be created. Okay. While my compute is being created, I need to get my code. Where am I gonna get the code from? I told you it's on GitHub. So we are going to move forward to GitHub and open the link of this solution. It's house price prediction AML workshop, and the link is included in the link I shared with you. It's included in the chat if you want to follow along with me. So from here, I'm gonna click on code and I'm gonna clone this repo. You can clone it or just download the zip code, as you will not be contributing to this repo. This will work, and this will work. Anything you want to do it. So in order to clone this repo, you have to have Git installed locally. If you don't have Git, you can just download the zip file and extract it, as I told you. Now we are just gonna copy this one and go to anywhere. For example, the link is not yet on YouTube. How do we get the GitHub link on YouTube? I already sent it, but I'm gonna send it again for you. It's this link. I hope you can see it now. So again, as I told you, we are gonna, for example, go to our desktop. Yeah, you can clone the repo anywhere you want, and just right click and create or open, git bash here, and type here git clone, okay, and put the link to the repo, okay, and then okay. Sorry. I copied the thing that says GitHub repo, and I was trying to clone it. It's now cloning my GitHub repo. What do I need from this repo? I think it's this one, house price prediction. Yes, this is the one. We need the notebook, the Jupyter notebook that has our code that we will be running on Azure. Let's get back to Azure to run this code, and here we can go to Azure Machine Learning Workspace. Our compute is up and running. That's great. You can see that we can use this compute in Jupyter Lab, Jupyter VS Code Web. And we are going to use it in what? In Jupyter. Now, what you need to do is to go to authoring and click on notebooks from there. Okay. So authoring and then click on notebooks. Inside here, you need to click on the plus sign to add new files and choose upload files. Then click to browse and select file. Then go to the cloned repository and get the Jupyter notebook. The name of it is Deploy House Price Prediction Model. Just get it. After it loads, okay, I can click on upload and wait for it to be uploaded, and the file has been uploaded successfully. I can now close this tab from this button, and I have to authenticate. Okay, this is really important, guys. And after I authenticate, I have to make sure to run TensorFlow and IBY kernel just to make sure. They may be already installed, but we are just making sure. And the next thing to do, sorry, I think I did a wrong step. This is step 4. It's not gonna make any difference, but I think it's better if we follow the steps one by one. Okay. So again, let me just interrupt my kernel and restart the kernel. Okay. Great. Now, oh, sorry guys, this is the first step, but it's the fourth step in this in the steps. This is the fourth step, because the first step is to open Azure and sign in. The second step is to create an Azure machine learning workspace. The third step is to create a compute or to set up your environment. And this is the fourth step, is to build the machine learning model. We're gonna run it again and see what happens, okay? And after that, we are just going to import some libraries. What are we importing here? We are importing TensorFlow and Keras and NumPy. NumPy is a mathematical library that deals with numbers, and we are going to use it to create our data set. Okay. Now here, if you go with me here, this is the data set. Okay. So again, I told you what. You can see this part, the part where we say step 4, build and save a machine learning model. You can replace this with your own machine learning model and continue everything as we have done. Yani, you can do step 1, 2, 3, and then just replace step 4 with your own machine learning model and continue with step 5, 6, 7, and so on. So for us, this is our training data, and this is our label data. So what is this? What is this numbers? Okay. This is an assumption I have done. So this is not real data. I have just created some dummy data for this demo or this application. It's only for this, and it's not for production use, and it's not a good machine learning model. It's the worst. Okay. So the first column here in the training data set is the number of bedroom. Let's say we are trying to predict here the house prices. Okay. So let's say that a house has 1 bedroom and it's 100 square meter. This is the size of the house, and it is in a rural area. Okay. So the third column specifies if the house is in the city bay or in the city area, or it's in a rural area. Okay. So this is the location of the house. This is the size of the house, and this is the number of bedrooms in the house. And based on these 3 attributes, or based on these 3 columns, we are going to say that the first house will cost $150,000, for example, or $250,000, and so on and so forth. You get the idea, okay? And all of this is what? All of this is just assumptions. You can do your own numbers. You get it or not? I hope you get it, okay? And for this one, okay, for this one, you can see that this is divided by 100,000. That's why I was telling you it's $150,000, because the numbers are divided by this, and this is a good practice when dealing with machine learning models. which is to normalize your data, to make it smaller, to make the machine learning model be faster, okay? Now, the next step is to do what? Is to build a simple machine learning model. Again, this is a dummy machine learning model. You can do better. You can create your own machine learning model. And it's just one keras or one layer, okay, that takes an input. And the input shape, this is the thing that I told you to focus on, is a 1D array that has 3 values. You can see here, this is the first input, this is the second input. It's a 1D array that has 3 values. And the activation function is ReLU. And ReLU is just an activation function that performs well with these kinds of situations. Why? Because if the number, it's only gonna output a positive number, okay? Why does it work like that? Let me show you the ReLU function, okay? And this is a mathematical function. It only gives outputs if the input is positive. So why do we do this? To ground our machine learning model into positive numbers only, because there is no way in the world that a house price is a negative number. You get it, right? So that's why we are using ReLU. And then if we go back here to the notebook again, you can see that at the output layer, we have one neuron. One output is gonna be the output of this machine learning model. Why? Because we are only trying to predict one price for each house. The second thing is to use the optimizers and the loss to calculate the loss function and to use some metrics to evaluate our model and to see how we can improve it. So the optimizer is the stochastic gradient descent, and it's a good optimizer for these kinds of issues. Again, the loss is the mean squared error. We are dealing with numbers, we are trying to predict one number. This is, again, a good loss function that can give us a good estimation of our error. And again, the metrics are the mean absolute error and the mean squared error. These metrics are the things that are going to show up for us here when we train our model to try and make some sense of this dummy machine learning model. Yani, we are going to see together. Okay, so after running, sorry, I'm lost. This, we just call model the trick to train our machine learning model. It's telling me that x of s is not there, so I just need to go back and run the cells. I think I didn't run them. And now you can see the machine learning model is working, and you can also see that the mean absolute error is decreasing over iterations, and the mean squared error is also decreasing, and the loss, again, it's also decreasing. So these are good metrics that we have used for our machine learning model. At the end, you are gonna see that it's performing good with some predictions. Others, it's not performing good, but that's because the data itself is only 10 numbers, I think. So it's not much. You can't judge a machine learning model based on this. It's highly overfitting machine learning model. And let me show you it in action. So let's make a prediction. How are you going to do it? We're just going to type model to predict and give it an example input. Okay, let's try this one. It has done the prediction, great. Now, what are we going to do? We are going to print the prediction. But you already know that we have scaled down the numbers by 100,000. So I'm just rounding up the output of the model to the nearest digit and then multiplying it by 100,000 and again nearing or rounding it to the nearest digit to get this output. And as you can see, the previous output was 470,000, and the new output is $500,000. And the correct one is the $500,000, but this is not our issue here. Our issue is that it's a machine learning model. It's based on probability, so it's not going to give you the same outputs each time you run it. And that's the cool thing about machine learning models. This is really cool, guys. And there is a note that this is not accurate. It may hit one time and miss 10 times. It's just for illustration purposes. You should replace it with your own machine learning model. The next step is to save this model, and we are going to save it using a function called save in a folder called tf-model. Let's do this. Okay, if we open here and refresh this one, we should see a newly created folder called tf-model, and it has our model saved inside it. After that, what we need to do, the ONNX library. So we are just going to install the ONNX runtime. We need two things to do the ONNX thing. And we are going to install the library that is going to convert our model from TensorFlow to ONNX. And its name is TF2 ONNX. The name is what it does. Again, the last thing after we have installed the two libraries is to convert it. Where did I get this line of code from? If you go to the official documentation of ONNX, you can find these examples. So converting to ONNX format, okay, what should I do, guys? Oh, it says this is the installation and this is the example. Let's try to see the example. And you can see here some code telling you how you can convert your own model from TensorFlow to ONNX. This is the same code that we have written here, but it's just formatted beautifully. Okay? Let's get back to our notebook and try to save our model, okay, in the ONNX format. If we refresh this, we should see the model folder that has a house price model.onnx. Yani you see what now? After building our machine learning model, we had all of these files. Okay, this is the saved model from TensorFlow. And with ONNX, we converted it to one file, only one file that we are going to deploy together. Now let's close this one for just illustration purposes, and let's test the model that we have converted together. Now it says that we need to import NumPy, we need to import ONNX, and we need to create or to load the model. How we are going to do it? We're just going to use the runtime and a function called inference session, and give it the path to our saved ONNX model. Now we are going to initialize a new data, and this is our input data. This is another example, new example. And this is the same example, sorry, it's not a new example. This is the same one that we used before. We want to see if it gives us the same output or not. Now, we are just going to feed it to the model, okay, and run this input, okay, using run function from the ONNX session. And again, we are going to round it, and ta-da, it gives us 500,000, which is the same number. And this is great because it means that it works. Any questions until now? Let me check the chat. I shared it in the chat. I don't know why can't you see it?
John, can you reshare the link you were expecting?
I did share it in the chat. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
Can you share it yourself?
I think they're
okay. Let me check it out because this is an important thing. Any questions up until now? this is the last part of the session. We are just gonna deploy it and use it. Let me check something. Oh, my comments weren't getting to you. That's why. Okay, so again, the link to the demo is bit.ly, and let me check it. I can't remember it. Build, deploy, use. Okay, build dash deploy dash use dash ml. Okay, models https. Now I think you can see it. Okay, and the GitHub repo link. I don't know if I can share it, but let's just move on. Okay, so now I think you can access the GitHub repo from the link that I shared. I hope يعني you can see the link now. Okay, let's move on. So again, the next step is to do what? Before we are able to
John, I think you have to speed up a little bit because time is not our friend right now.
yeah, I know, I get it. The next thing we are gonna do is to register the model on Azure in order to be able to deploy it. So we are just gonna run this code and initialize some needed variables. In order to register the model, we need a name for the model, we need a name for the deployment, and we need a name for AI builder, but I don't think that we need this right now. But let's just do this and get this workspace thing initialized and register our model. And this is a function that you can find in Azure documentation, and it just registers our model and add it to the available models here. So if you open this tab, you will find our newly created model registered. The only thing left is to do what? To create the score.py, which is a file that we need in order to deploy our model, and to create the env file. The env file has all the library that Azure needs in order to run this model. And the scoring file has what will happen when someone calls your model. So what will happen when someone calls your model? It's gonna take an input, okay, and it's gonna convert it to a NumPy array. It's gonna send it to the deployed model. It's gonna give it or get from it an output or a prediction and bring it back to you. So that's what will happen. Now, after that, we are just gonna create the inference configuration and deploy the model. Okay, the deployment is now in progress. Once the deployment is done, we can test it out. I think that we are not going to be able to use this model in Power Apps, but you can follow along in the demo that I shared with you here. And these are the rest of the steps that I shared with you today. You can follow them on your own time. But right now, we are just going to wait for this deployment to finish, and that's it. After this deployment is done, we can test it out inside this notebook and see or use the machine learning endpoint and the API key to send requests from anywhere, literally anywhere. Maybe it's a website, as I told you at the beginning, or let's say an application, like the Power app that we will use. Okay. let's see our model. This is the deployed, the registered model, not the deployed one. If we open it, you can see there is endpoints, versions, artifacts, everything related to this model. Okay, and if we go to endpoints, you can see that there is an endpoint being created right now, and it's our house price prediction ONNX endpoint. And I think it's ready. No, it's not ready. I think it needs some time to be created. So while it's being created, let me know if you have any questions.
So everybody watching us live, if you have any question for John, just try to drop it in the comment section so that you can quickly answer it when the model finish deploying.
Yeah, I can answer it while it's finishing deployment.
All right, all right.
Because I think it's gonna take, I think it's gonna take like 10 minutes for it to be deployed. So let me get back to the notebook and see. It should give me some influence here. Okay, you can see. If the deployment takes longer than 10 minutes, you can do it. So as I told you, it's gonna take like up to 10 minutes, and um, we are just gonna test it. That's it. If it doesn't deploy in the next couple of minutes, we can wrap this session up. And if you have any questions about anything that we have done today together, you can reach me out on my social media. So I think we need to close this one, and we need to get here again. This is the handle. Okay, this is my handle on social media, and this is the link of the demo that we have been doing together today. It's build, deploy, use ML models. I think it has been deployed. I don't know if it's true or not, but it should finish loading here once it's deployed. Okay.
Uh, okay, John. Can you still please help us to drop the GitHub link again in the comment section?
Yes, I can do that. Did you see
Okay,
my
because of
did you see my link, the other link that I shared in the comments or not?
I guess people that join late, yeah, it's kind of hard for them to see it. So I think maybe that's why
No, no,
they're
no, no, no.
asking. People that
I'm asking about another link that I shared in the comments.
okay, let me check. Let me check now. Let me check. Oh, I'm not seeing it here. I'm not seeing it here.
Okay. I don't know why it's not coming up. You can see that if يعني, I am sharing my screen and everyone can see that I shared the links in the chat, but when I go to the chat on GitHub, I sorry, the chat on YouTube, I didn't find any links.
Okay, can you see somebody drop a comment now that no, we can't see the link.
Yeah, you still can't see the link. That's weird.
Yes,
Were you able to?
I think I can
Can
see
you
it
share
here before.
what?
So probably you can go and just copy it and put it in the comment section again. Can you do that
Okay,
for
I'm
us?
gonna do that. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, thank you.
Can you share it, Abayomi?
Oh, it will be hard for me to share from there because I joined the call through another medium. Like I don't really have access to YouTube right now from here.
Mhm. I don't, guys. I tried to share it again from my phone. Can you see it now? That's weird. Can you?
Okay. Or can you just
I sent.
can
I
you share it
sent.
with Bumi on WhatsApp?
Ye- I don't have Bunmi's number,
Okay,
but I
okay.
have her
Probably
teams.
we are going to get back to
I
them
sent.
later on that. So anybody that is
Oh,
going to
okay,
go to
okay,
the GitHub link, we are going to share it later. We are going to share it
okay.
with them later.
Let me tell you something. If you can't see the GitHub link, if you can't find it anywhere, if you go to the demo that I have shared the link multiple times now with you, يعني write in your browser bit.ly/build-deploy-use-ml-models, and you can see it in the prerequisites here. Okay, so if you go here, code notebook and solution zip from GitHub, if you click on GitHub, this is the link of the GitHub account. So that's another way you can reach this link, and I think that our model is now ready. Oh my god, it's not ready. Okay, so let me just refresh it and see if it's ready or not. This is the last refresh, and as I told you, you can, yeah, you definitely can do it on your own, and definitely use it and try to test it yourself and see if it works or not. For now, we are just, as I told you, we're just gonna wrap up this session. And again, thank you so much. And this is the link. And see you in future demos. Bye.
So thanks John for honoring our call and being there today to teach and to impart people with your wealth of knowledge, sharing your knowledge and giving us a practical section. It's nice having you on the call tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Uh, Thanks for coming and thanks for taking the practical class.
Yeah. Um, for now, if يعني, if you have any other question, anything about what we have shared with you today, you can ask it. If not, that's it for today, I think. So bye again.
Yeah, so I think we can just take maybe like to check the comment section if people really want to ask questions, like people watching this class. So if they have any question, they can easily drop it in the chat box so that you can answer it.
Yeah,
So if you have any
definitely.
question, just try to drop it in the comment section. And if
Any?
I
Mhm.
don't think any question to wait on the call for a very long time. So I think we can wrap it up here. So thanks for coming and thanks for uh, taking the class, John. We are so glad to have you.
Me too. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Mhm. Yeah. So all right, and I don't know maybe Bumi has anything to say before you leave. Uh,
Hi, John. Thank you so much for
bye.
Hi.
today's session. It was really insightful. Really grateful that I could make it to today before you go to the army. Yeah, I learned that you're going to be going to the army. Awesome, awesome job.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really awesome. It's really exciting to have you today. When I shared information with community members, it was like, wow. Awesome, right? Okay, for those who are asking for GitHub link, I believe you can share that with me and I would get that across to them.
I sent
So,
it to you on Teams.
okay, okay, I would get that to you. I'll get that to you. So, thank you so much, John. Thank you so much, Abayami. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. And see you next time. Bye
Yeah, all right, bye.
bye.